see poverty continue to get worse every day. And it will tell you that if you do not act, some of these things will never change. And so each era throws up somebody who is that great voice that seeks to achieve some change and make the world a better place. One of such is with me this evening. It's a great pleasure and honor, not just because of what he does, but the name that he has. My pleasure to welcome Fred Hampton, Jr., the great political activist at a time that many young people are not too keen about activism. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
My pleasure to meet you, brother. My pleasure to be here. I'm honored and humbled to be here.
Great. How's it feel like being in Ghana?
Feels good. As I had said when I left before, because this is not my first time here.
Sure.
I say I still have the language. I'm still riding high of the emotions. Yeah. So it's intense feelings. Good to be home.
Right.
Yes.
But you still have that feeling when you come back. I'm imagining that having been here earlier, you should be used to, it should just be another visit to another country.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to make as many trips as I can throughout Africa.
No, so what I'm trying to find out, I'm sure the first time you came to Ghana, you have had a certain feeling coming back home. So
Oh yeah, okay, understood.
But how many visits have you made to Ghana?
This is actually my third.
The third.
Yeah.
So I don't think you have that feeling any longer. It's just like visiting any other country for you now.
When you go, it's like a recalibrate, a recharge, because you go back to the States, you know, so you go, it's still like a recharge when you come back here. It's like a recharge. The heat feels different. To see our people. In fact, I went to a market. I think it was maybe in yesterday, and I commented, just the feeling of seeing that massive amount of our people. It's even though been there before, it's still like it's a re-hit, it's a recharge.
Yes. You're energized when you see that.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Do you have
a visual.
Great. Do you have an interesting story? The name Fred Hampton is not a new name. It's a name that was very rife in the days of civil activism in the United States of America. And that great matters to your dad. How do you feel with the son of such a great guy?
I said in the poem, because our poetry is kind of like my release, I said a lot of people would like to know how does it feel to be sired by you, being loved by the people, but sweated, harassed by you know who. I said something to I'm paraphrasing my poem. I said, I'm honored to be your son. By the way, that lady that you chose, she was the one. I'm honored and humbled to be this. I fallen from a trio of two freedom fighters, Chairman Fred Hampton, also my mother, Cohen Jerry. And I say, I don't romanticize it because I know a lot of heat comes with it, with the name. It's tough act to follow, and I see to define myself as, and I have been defined as a Black Panther Party cub by birth and by valor. We attempt to walk in the Panther, not the footsteps, but the Panther Paul footsteps for forces such as Chairman Fred and the Black Panther Party.
Very well. Now, you didn't get to see your dad. Did I give you an extra strength to do what you do?
Yes, I'm gonna paraphrase another piece I said in this poem. I learned lessons from his legend and what a man was supposed to be. I learned lessons from his legend and what a man was supposed to be. I'm continuously learning. I grew up in the city, Chicago, where the time that I grew up in, not only a lot of things had not changed, some of the names were still the same. In particular, for example, Chicago was known for the infamous Daley machine. It was like Mayor Richard Daley was the most powerful man in the country. And under his tenure, my father, Chairman Fred, Defense Captain Mark Clark, was assassinated. Now, I was later given some trucked up charges to my organization. I was a political prisoner and happened to be under the tenure of Mayor Richard Daley, his son, Daley Jr. Come to find out, one of the major law enforcement operatives who gathered the agencies together to give me the case was a Sergeant Joseph P. Grubazek, who, lo and behold, going through old archives of the Black Panther Party papers. Oh, he was involved in the surveillance and subsequent assassination of Chairman Fred. So a lot of similar situations, went through it, and I've met his comrades. I learned the war stories. I've even had situations where I really like situations. Ironically, one of the infamous prisons he was at was Menard. He was there in 1969. I was taken there in 1999. And when I got there, other prisons, they give me the moniker, the nickname of Deja Vu. So you've been there before. And so I've been through similar situations, and sometimes I watch his footage when he speak, and for the first time, I would finish the speech. I was like, I know he's going. Now, I've even had, even with organizers come into contact with offspring of some of his adversaries and allies. I just conducted the funeral services for a comrade who was the founder and leadership of the Puerto Rican organization known as the Young Lords, Chairman Cha-Cha Menez, and who was one of my father's champions, his contemporaries, his comrades, who also was one of my comrades. And ironically, the president of the Rainbow Coalition, something the chair with the so-called Canada prior to him being assassinated. Manuel, who he touched down organized with, ironically, his daughter, Condoleezza Manuel, would be president organized with the president of the Rainbow Coalition. So a lot of similarities, again, with adversaries and allies.
Right. So is it a case that you deliberately chose to probably continue the life of your dad, or your mom created an environment that spurred you on?
I think conditions. I think even outside of our household, so many similar conditions that played a key role. Because I didn't. Of course, I looked at. I was. As a child, I would look at old speeches, and in fact, initially, certain things with as a child, I recall moving my hands when I spoke, and then I was subconsciously trying to stop that. And I seen footage of him speaking. I said, I'm no longer into it. But I also seen the repercussions. I seen the photographs of, he's 21 years old, with Chicago police pulling his body out. It was Chairman Fred's dead. I recall having repercussions in school. We even simply, speaking about, cause situations in different, police stations when they would take us in, which one related to D happened. So he became with it. So I didn't romanticize it, but it was like the conditions, it called for nothing less. To be able to pick up the mantle and continue on.
Right. So how's life growing up as a child in school, in the community? Did people look up to you? Were they expecting you to follow in your father's footsteps?
I think I'm gonna put it in context. What happened, even after the assassinations of Chairman Fred, Figure Lamar Clark, and the hit that the Black Power movement received. In fact, we say that suffered a military defeat. Ideologically, the Black Power movement won. It won ideologically. In other words, people in the community, you mentioned it, you could see them come back to life. However, there was a blow that a lot of questions were unanswered. Who took what positions, and who was forced underground, political exile, political prisoners. Some which to this day we still have many of those. In fact, I just got the update of a present-day political prisoner, Imam Jamil Al-Amin, formerly known as A. Brown, one of the most charismatic, courageous representatives of the Black Power movement in the 60s, who was continuously targeted. They just got word yesterday he had stage 4 cancer. So a lot of things were not able to be summed up. In fact, my mother had said in regards to Tupac Amaru Shakur, park needed organization, and organization needed park. And that one, in general, our people is like a non-acknowledged war. You know, other respective communities, they have the, I guess, advantage of an acknowledged war. So you talk about Nazi Germany, for example. It's acknowledged that SS and SA, the Fuhrer, Adolf Hitler, they created the ghettos. And they used to hit terms like propaganda bombs. However, in our community, it's a non-acknowledged war. And they even the struggle to even to say that term that these forces were assassinated. People were forced into political exile. Used those to be deprived of that. So a lot of our people are not able to sum up what happened. They just fade away, what happened, so on and so forth. So I recall, you know, I've had some recent conversation with some people now in the present day, and they flash back to our conversations. They say, you know, we would laugh at you, say, you think you're back in the 60s. And, you know, and it doesn't, you know, I say it now, how it hits home now. You know, I'm talking about the recent few years, there was a time growing up, you know, things like, something may seem as, quote unquote, normal to a child about when the ice cream trucks come down the community. People say, get the ice cream truck, children go get the ice cream. I had to wait to make sure it wasn't a particular ice cream truck. This being a Good Humor ice cream truck. Being that was the Good Humor ice cream truck who the government had utilized to frame Chairman Fred on the Trump case. They say go to $71 for ice cream in case to the children. And to this day, we don't patronize Good Humor. So things like that, you know. So went through the time period, deprived of a connection to the community to be able to sum up what happened. Because they with the assassinations, with the political prisoners, they salted the government, they salted the earth. They salted the earth. They, you know, I think back, somebody asked a question, I think back, I was on a delegation, I believe, in El Salvador one time. And I recall people going back in a period, calling all the children together. And even the terms they used, they wouldn't say war, they would say conflict. And the children's parents were, for the first time, they were actually pointing to each other their actual names. And I was like, wow, we went to a wall where people would get murdered. And the parents, I said, wow, there's something, if you see your parents, and they never use their actual names for father and mother. And this was due in part the counterinsurgency, the agent provocateurs, the betrayal was so intense that people, they engaged in relationships, you didn't know who was who. So then that was the negative impacts with relationships. And so, you know, in our community, there was a time period that the conversations didn't happen. So, just like in recent history, there's a, you know what I'm saying, and you also released the movie Judas the Black Messiah, certain discussions could be happening now, but I grew up in a time period, it was conversation, in many cases, was premature for our people.
I'm so interested in trying to see what are some of the push factors that will do activism. Why did your mom initially give you a different name rather than your dad's name? And then they changed. So was the change supposed to ignite that fire in you?
Good question, because I've heard different things. One, to put it in context, this is a revolutionary organization. Black Panther Party was a revolutionary organization, and it took that in theory and in practice. Everything, how they define relationships, like, you know, the Black Panther Party was consistent with their position, and everything down to they would not challenge City Hall on the state's position on Monday, and then go down Tuesday and say, excuse me, could you acknowledge our relationships? Could you validate our relationships? So even that was Chairman Fred, that was his wife, you know, so not by state standards. And so stuff I took for granted that people would know. And also, there's a picture, it's a famous picture of her holding me as a child, and she's doing an interview. And unbeknownst to a lot of people, she was actually on the run on the land when that was taken. The grand jury was seeking out survivors of December 4th, 1969. And part of the position was we're not going to talk to Frank James about what Jesse James is engaged in. So even those dudes the names or so forth. So and I recall also meeting Bernadette Devlin, who Irish Republican Army. I met her before, and she said she recalls a child. She never seen me. There was a chain around my neck with a bullet, and she said she recalled the different positions with the Black Panther Party. So these are different dynamics, you know what I'm saying? And it's different growing up as a child. So and I also said I interviewed with a brother, he's Muslim now, formerly one named Napoleon, rapper who was Tupac and the Outlaws. And he was saying something, he said, you understand Pac grew up different. He said Pac, when they moved, they had to put, as a child, put peanut butter over the walls, remove the fingerprints. But the name change later on, even with Fisher and Hampton, and also was inclusive with that, was taking out another one of my middle names. Because it got brought to our attention. This individual was hanging around with the acknowledged agent of our tour, William O'Neill. So Nathaniel, so that was my name at first. So that was taken out of my name. I recall that significance. As a child, I remember some of my elementary school counterparts, they were laughing. I was starting to say my full name, 3 or 4 middle names. But I remember that taking that name out. This is the ever developing process and stuff. The verdict is still out on a lot of individuals. There's still information coming out. I remember that principal stance she took about that, going out as a child. I was probably approximately 10 years old, I think, 9 or 10, and taking that out, that middle name.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you look back, did you see a change in how you went about your things after that meeting?
I always had a basic love, and understand, you know what I'm saying, a basic love for the movement. I would come back, my mother, she reminds me, I would come back and I would find diamonds in the rough. I would find, wait a minute, this is, they told my father, they told the Black Panthers, and I would seek it out in conversation. I would also, when I was growing up, it was common for brothers and sisters to be around, gather around the garbage cans, and when in the cold winter they would burn the amber and wood to stay warm. I would listen to them, the conversations. I would listen to war stories. I would hear, the different war stories. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna use this term, war and love stories. And people talk about, this commitment, from different street organizations. People first reference the gangs. You know what I'm saying? How he impacted them. So I always had that basic love, respect, and for it. But it was later on, I guess, a combination of my mother, conditions, and my early teens, that official position, grab him out. Yeah.
I realize you always refer to your dad as Chairman Fred. How do you do that?
Chairman,
I would expect you call him dad when you're making reference to him. I consistently said Chairman Fred.
Yes, the structure. Sister, she said she remembered about it before. She said he was a structure, and she recalled that. The Black Panther Party was a structured organization, and it's something that a lot of times our people in our community are not used to. We automatically we'll give a reverence, respect to other entities, whether it be the music industry, whether it be entertainers, whether it be what have you, but any state sanction. The state say, okay, the state is making this official. The uniqueness of the Black Panther Party is still up on its own terms. You had Minister of Defense, Huey P. Newton. You had Chairman Bobby Seals, the National Chairman. You had Deputy Minister of Health, Ronald Doc Satchel. And these checks and balances, and structure. And without that structure, what I'm saying, one of America's policies has been to create chaos, then restore order. Create chaos, then restore order. So with that absence of structure, what I'm saying, it's open to say, okay, we'll give it to you. And by him being Chairman Fred, it does not negate him from him being my father. It does not negate him from being my mother's husband or my grandparents' son. And to really put in context, that of a freedom fighter, because I know the misnomer, the incorrect narrative in regards to revolutionaries or freedom fighters is this rah-rah, reactionary, and that you just moving out, there's just no political agenda, but that dynamic of an actual checks and balances to have something that of service to, that you're held accountable to, And that, I think about the interview, a young lady was interviewing my mother, and she said, how do you feel to be able, that you covered down, that you covered over your man, your husband? And I called my mother at the table at the Hampton House. She said, I covered down with the deputy chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. To put that in context, how people can see that and say, just hypothetically speaking, say that they had a relationship issues, say that they broke up their one, but they're still committed, they know, to that leadership, to that structure. I tell people to this day, I say, I'm still held accountable. I'm to those legacy. I'm Minister of Youth, being chairman for to that organization. I chair the Black Panther Party Cubs. But I'm committed. It's not a subjective, my own personal, how do I feel? This is my father. We have a protocol. How do we deal with discipline? How do we deal with checks and balances? What can we do? How do we do? How do we deal with contradictions, with issues, so on and so forth?
That's interesting. But within yourself, you feel a bond with your dad. I mean,
oh yes, and it's nothing. Like it's a stoic, disconnect. It's it's a reverence and respect, and but it's chairman. If I feel I'm going to raise, this party protocol, and you're gonna do that.
but do you think it would have been different maybe if you saw him and lived with him for a while and there was that bond? Maybe you probably would have been fine. He's still a friend, but probably you refer to him as dad more than
I grew up in a place that this in particular was the most segregated city, and still is in the country, and it's just a structured place, and I believe that I speak. In fact, I'll go so far. I say probably more so that structure, because it's so that city I grew up in. It's the last major city in the U.S. that crack cocaine was introduced in, because of checks and balances with different organizations. To this day, you still see remnants of it. What just locations you go to, how you speak about like different leadership of organizations and electoral politics, religious institutions. It's a structure that that you can still feel it ingrained in the city to this day.
Very well. Now, activism today, I'm not sure it's the same as it used to be. During the period of your dad, where the reasons for marching onto the streets were different. Some actually think that activism is outlived its usefulness. What's your thought?
It's tug and pull, ebbs and lows, highs and lows, ebbs and lows, it's up and down. I know U.S. in particular, and just in imperialism, worldwide, it's it utilizes different the carrot or the big stick. Sometimes the facade of freedom, it gets people comfortable, and a lot of concessions for people to say, well, we free, and many people are deprived of analysis to say, relate to Nigerian theoretician Francis Fanon to say, to be able to accept it without compromising their principles. You have situations where some generations are reactionary. I think it was under former U.S. President George Bush's seniors tenure in Iraq. At a certain period of time, the populace, I think maybe 72%, 78% of the populace was under 17 years old. So you had a generation of people who really wasn't familiar with what happened prior, So it breeds reactionaryism. So you say, well, this is the first time we've been oppressed, or this is, or if you take away certain conditions, you say, okay, so it takes you deprive you all your clothing and give you a T-shirt. So, thank you, as opposed to having a historical analysis to say, wait a minute, you took all my clothes, I'm supposed to be in a position. So, it's ups and downs. And this is a saying that actually Malcolm X has said that the collective consciousness of the people ticks slowly, but it erupts with volcanic force and it makes Mount St. Helena look like nothing.
So again, going back to this, the issue of activism in the US, it's true that there's still racism, but probably not to the degree that it used to be some years back. You see pockets of issues come up, maybe somebody has been killed by the police force for a reason that is not too clear, or arrests are made in ways that suggest that it was purely based on race. Are those enough reasons for you to continue, not you as a person, but for that particular activism to continue in the US? Do you think majority of the people are basically free to go about their lives?
I'm gonna quote Malcolm X, allows really else for that again. He said, America's democracy is it's a facade. It's Machiavellian. And you know, there'll be certain situations with certain concessions will be allotted, but the diagnosis, the contradiction of racism, quite a contradiction of the deprivation of being deprived of self-determination. It's consistent. It can be correlated to the coronavirus. You know, it may be dormant at times. It's still there, it's still present. You know, and there may be certain elements that trigger it, and you know, and a lot of times people have a reactionary response, kind of like this old saying: if a tree falls in the forest and you don't hear it, does it make a sound? You know, some people have to be, maybe it's so arrogant. You know, I didn't hear it, so it mustn't make a sound. Trees are being cut down, not falling, they're being cut down. You know, the period is being reduced. And a lot of times there's a certain individual, certain, you know, class of people. People say, oh, wait a minute, now this is a problem. Then you have those who have to be recognize the consistency. You know, even when it's not popular, when it's not fashion. We have a saying with our organization, the Black Panther Party clubs, we say a lot of people are black when it's beneficial. They play Panther when it's profitable, and claim to be Cubs when it's comfortable. So when it's, you know, fashion, and there again certain periods of time, certain things get triggered. But this is consistent, even if it's maybe dormant in certain areas, and it may be certain areas of we refer to as a class piece, where you know, say even the system itself doesn't have to go out and do damage control. There, people will come out and sidetrack you with entertainers and so on and so forth. You go back and look. Wait a minute. The day that this big event happened, this was really going on. We didn't see this. You know what I'm saying? So it's been dynamic contradictions that happen. Then you have periods of time where it's blatant. You know, so ruling class comes out and say, no, this is what this is. This is what we're doing. So again, throughout history, this is nothing new. You know, ever new.
Right. But you don't think a different approach will probably solve these problems? I mean, the law courts you want to go to, it's advocacy you want to do, there are lobby groups that can still push the agenda for this change to happen rather than the kind of activism we were involved in.
Oh no, let me be clear. There's that's a misnomer. Even because not only me, my present day Black Panther Party was this stagnant, disconnect. You know, some people, as opposed to no, we have our ear to the ground. We studying the different. What is phenomenal? In fact, when people say that power is the ability to define phenomenon and make it act in desired matter. Power is the ability to define phenomenon and make it act in desired matter. Phenomenon, what is phenomenon? An unusual event that can be scientifically explained. So the service of the people, we put our ear to the ground and see what's phenomenal. So even though there's the misnomer that we the Black Panther Party Cubs, they thought this rah-rah and this reactionary. But you study the Black Panther Party, the survival programs. That does it from first free breakfast program, free medical centers, free busing program. You look at the time, what periods, what location, the usage of electoral politics. The deal is to utilize it as opposed to utilizing you. We have today, Black Panther Party Cubs, we have the Black Panther Party Cubs Code of Culture. The Code of Culture, where our match for that is there are 20 of us in Sing Sing, reference to the prison. For rappers, we talk about bling bling. We will utilize hip hop is a tool. You know, there's a Dave Chappelle block party. I came on stage and I spoke about political prisoners. You know, I go to some of the rappers who are reactionary. I would get on their lyrics. I would drop some politics there. We study the people. We see where are they at? You know, like Harriet Tubman, she utilized these little spirituals. It wasn't just an absolute. Just if you say, oh, she just was taking slaves. She just taking the scene. What's phenomenal? So all the approach is never stagnant. It's always put that into the ground. Studying the people, see what's phenomenal. What points of unity can we bring to people? Not to go too far ahead, advance for the people, not to be left behind. So everything from this president delegation here, you know what I'm saying? It's heightened the contradictions where people say, oh, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? They do damage control was about the incorrect narratives in regards to Africans home and those who are the diaspora. So different, you know, so we would I'm gonna give you an inside scoop. We're gonna do this piece also. It's gonna be like a flip on it, not a flip, but like a political hit with the Kendrick Lamar, the song, They Not Like Us. Taking that and using that, you know what I'm saying? Or using using poetry, you know what I'm saying? The way the people, so we always have our into the ground, saying what's phenomenal with the people. So they always taking different approaches. We're never coming in as a arrogant or dog. So this is what we feel that people should be ready for. We study the people. It's like a massage therapist say, okay, whoa, you know, because this patient is different. This bone is just going too hard. It's a term that comedic genius Richard Pryor, who was heavily impacted by the Black Panther Party, he said it's a peopleologist. So definitely, no, the approach is always constantly ever developing. The core goal remains the same, self-determination. Always have our ear to the ground. When can we win? How far can people go?
So how impactful have you been using this strategy? I mean, trying to change how to meet the women. How impactful?
Ups and downs. I think the people, I can tell you so many Warren Lord's love stories, but people themselves report factors to how we know the impact. You can look at because it's a vanguard, so we really can't assess our value. The people collect to tell us I get updates of everything from the Hampton House where we located Child on Chairman Fred. We first got there, there was an attempt to salt the earth. They had tried to turn it to a dope den. This is the house that Chairman Fred grew up in. We got the community refrigerator right there, but it was the area known as a food desert. We put safe zones right there. Elementary school he attended right across the street. Children that were going there did not know who Chairman Fred, who he was. Parents come to us and say, now because of your presence, these children get bigger shirt sizes. I said, why is that? I said, they walk with their chest out. They say, this is a school that Chairman Fred went to. So the impact, I'm coming into contact from famous comedians, you know what I'm saying, brothers, so-called 85 South. They were just here. DC Youngfly, he was just here. You know what I'm saying, he talked about the impact of Black Panther Party Cubs, and you know what I'm saying, and the generation he is contagious. So you can never, so to put that mark on it, is, in fact, I said, we had a delegation to Brazil one time. I was in Sao Paulo, and I commented to our leadership there, deputy chairwoman. I said, you know, even the genius of Minister Huey himself, I don't think he could not have assessed and summed up the impact of the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? You see it work up. You know, you can go back and look in city of Chicago, the time period, the organization's names have changed from the Delta Disciples to the Black Disciples, with the Blackstone Rangers, the Black Keystone Nation. Even the government said when the Black Panther Party was in existence, there was a record low. They call black on black crime. I'm constantly getting updates, I just see this on social media where people were convening at the area known as the Wall. There's a big mural, Chairman Fred, the Fiscal Lamar Clark, the Minister of Health Down Statue. And we say, go to the Wall. And these are brothers and sisters in the community who I didn't even know there was significance in it. And they were out there, and this is the area, this is the area they try to salt the earth. They want people to sell drugs. It doesn't happen there. It's a different, I tell people all the time, you can look at different periods and see how we named our children, what was going on. So the impact is, you know what I'm saying, you can't put a cutoff date on it, you know, so I tell people, I say like, even discussion with hip hop, Kendrick Lamar, I was talking to some brothers from California, I said, now, I said, give us credit, they say, his father, he actually say his father is come from Chicago, we back, we was commenting about that. So you never get the impact of the politics, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes in the dire conditions, you say, oh, I see how that, you know, impacted. I come back here, I say, some forces I haven't seen it in a year, I touch down, some of the quotes, the terms, we have a greeting, we say, free them all. You know, I see these young brothers, they the greeting, you know what I'm saying, how they engage with each other. There's a group of young brothers around the Hampton House, they were into it. And the song, they did a joint venture for Free Them All song, they went to the Cook County Jail, and you know, when many people come out of jail, got involved in work, damn, we produce a different sort of artists with the politics.
You seek also to influence, for instance, who gets to represent the state in Congress. You seek to influence who becomes the governor. Do you venture into that side of politics as well?
Any electoral politics.
Yes,
Electoral politics. Any phenomenon that we say that play into the ground, anything that impacts the people, we definitely like be there. However, we also are humble enough to know something. We be cautious because some phenomena can define you, and so that you have to be a force to be reckoned with. You know what I'm saying? Because some people go into situations and the tables turn, and they are utilized by these different phenomena. So to come in clearly on who we are, and you know what I'm saying, so what points of unity, you know what I'm saying, we are taking into account individuals, taking into account time, it's like organizing, it's like, it's not just, it's absolutely, maybe a strategic move today, say, well, we gotta move fast on this, you know, certain contradictions that are happening. So again, any phenomenon, like, it's a joke they make about me when I was in prison. He said, Chairman Fred, he would go to the different street organizations meeting. He would go to the different religious circles. He still comes out, Chairman Fred. So that, you know, to form those points of unity, you know what I'm saying? Again, in Chicago in particular, has a notorious history in regards to electoral politics. So there's situations we have in Hampton House is in the neighborhood, the west suburb of Chicago. But we're an international organization, so of course, so yes, to answer your question, we definitely, we are not a cult, we're not negated, we understand where the people at. But we know also sometimes to win the people's, get their backbone and be clear, to not come in, because many venues will come in, people say, oh, okay, you're gonna dictate to us, as opposed to saying, no, the people, this is the power base. Because we're told the narrative is that change happens from the top down. Our position is no, from the bottom up. And for example, we had a campaign, AAT bill, the African Anti-Terrorism Bill. This was something that we approached with different electoral candidates. It was a big thing going on some years back. In fact, they had changed different people. They this thing called voter die. You know, these different pirate pipers, Puffy Combs and likes. They were on this voter die. It would come with an arrogance to the people. You know, voter die. We said, no. And so we said, no. And they said, well, they push the people like, you know, this person or that person, absolute. We said, no. What is their position? You know what I'm saying, on political prisoners? What is their position on reparations? What is their, the terrorism that our people are subjected to? So to be able to around, so it changes the table around and know we on offense. And so that puts the conversation in the correct context, and it puts what we refer to as our people colonized in the U.S. as the OVs, not the original G, not the OGs, but the original victims of terrorism. People who've been terrorized in such euphemisms as slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, so on and so forth. So if nothing, it gives them. That was a campaign we implemented 2001, and it's still standing. And it pushed up because a lot of times people feel defeated. They say, well, who you vote for lesser of two evils, so on and so forth. No, we at least have up the annual discussion. Other communities, it's an acknowledged war. You get different terms like, you know, propaganda bombs and so forth. So that's a hard question. Yes, in we don't leave no stone unturned. That tour politics, music, you know what I'm saying? We also are humble enough to acknowledge that certain dynamics that we're not, our muscle is not strong enough. The people, you know, we don't even go as far as the people can go. That's how.
Even if you believe that a particular politician's principle aligns strongly with yours, you wouldn't go out all out campaigning for that person.
Yeah, we you know, well, we have to be real careful because again, that term, we would do as opposed to have a term to say the plan as opposed to the man or the woman. We try to do it as objective as we can. They can say, okay, what do you unite for? What do you unite with this particular? What is your position on a police accountability board? And see, that's something that we can unite with. Because again, in our community, so many situations I've seen it subjective. I don't want to sound going overboard like this stoic. Similar to like with our organizing, the Black Panther Party. You see, back to the question about we referencing this Chairman Fred. It ups the ante. It puts the situation of our people not in a dependent on one person. Because you're talking about a machine. You know what I'm saying? In fact, Chicago was known for machine politics. So machine, the individual. You know what I'm saying? I tell people, I'm an international chair, Black Panther Party Cubs. However, let's be very clear. There are checks and balances. I'll tell you, I live on a suitcase. I adhere. We have a central committee. You know what I'm saying? This is no comparison to the ruling classes. You feel what I'm saying? So there could be something in me as an individual that I want to do. I make jokes about us. You know, I don't know my personal favorite color because I'm the political. You know what I'm saying? Organizational colors. I have to adhere to the greater good. So that's our case. That's an agenda. Our agenda is self-determination. That I recall when we first got engaged with campaign to say to have an ounce. I was literally planning to go to speak. I think in Louisiana for an event, and I was designated. Said, no, we have to hold the line. Chair, we need you here at the Hampton House. You know, that trumped. You know what I'm saying? What I want to do with my personal. So again, so you told me we have to look at we struggle our people. Look at situations. Objective. There's a machine dealing with.
Now, again, so one last bit on that. So you were not part of this whole euphoria around the Barack Obama's first election to the White House. You didn't play active role within the same context of self-determination.
No, in fact, he prior to his presidential run, he had Senate, and you know, not a country was exposed by the leaders by the Senate. I think the history was that initially for quite some time, a person had to have like 100 slaves to become a slave. And I recall when they had the hip hop summit, and this was that same Vote or Die campaign, and Chicago and different hip hop artists they came in, and we in fact the African Anti-Terrorism Bill, AAT bill, and we approached the people. And I was, oh, don't do that. You know, he's going to be the first black senator. We said, well, we don't care if he's going to be the first black marshal. This is the position. This comes with us as a people, and so we give people themselves. They push them away from the table. So what was their position on that? And so there was no position taken on that, and it's an arrogance about it. Not only with politics, even entertainers, where they don't, you know, they feel an opportunity to come through the wave and smile and keep it going. No, not even. And I know this sounds macabre to say, but not even. Don't even they even have to lie to us. You know, it's just a. You hear jokes about like even Hillary Clinton will come on and say, so house sauces and chicken wings and so we have to up the ante. You know, so what comes with us, and not you know, saying it's not. We draw an analogy during the era of child slavery that you say we were not. Our allegiance was not either to the Union nor the Confederate. Our allegiance was to the Reverend Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, to our people. And you know, so that's not your choices, you know. So no, we can accept the concessions from other entity, remain clear of who we are.
Right, very well. Now, so your organization is international. What's your view about what is happening across the US to Africa in terms of how this time their own people are governing them? Are you concerned about the quality of rulership? Are you concerned about the way democracy is practiced on the continent of Africa? Is that something that you delve into as well?
It's another things that it's ever developed, these are some interesting times. I let so many others we study everything from certain questions and it's being up with similar to I guess people like in the US also where it just competition supersedes just a black face. So there's it's called, you know, and there's pros and cons of that because it calls for a political maturity. You know what I'm saying? To say, wait a minute, you know, there's this the greater good, and also people that's good and bad because it can be demoralizing once people start coming out of a subjective bubble. Sometimes in a subjective bubble, you just say, okay, I don't see the connection of where I'm at, whether it be Niger, whether it be Converse Faso, whether it be Ghana, whatever the case may be. People can say, well, as long as this, you can see certain, like a limited vision. You see contradictions now. People are at least seeing everything from trade, trade impacts you. We had, so it's a different discussion happening not just here, but throughout the world.
Now, so again, previously, when there was a lot of activism in Africa, it was really a colonial period.
Mm-hmm.
It was easy because they were fighting somebody who wasn't like you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we have now is we are independent countries,
Yes.
and yes, the suppression continues.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we should approach or we should use a different method in addressing this challenge? Now, there probably Ghana is an exception, but a number of African countries that if you spoke against the president, you'd be chased out and be killed. Are these things issues that have concern to you as chairman of the government?
Last year, in December,
Right.
I forged
And the convention.
the convention.
Right.
Yeah.
Accra.
And yeah. So the different administration that was in place.
Yes, it's a different administration.
Yes.
Well, pretty close to elections, so I'm sure
Oh
the
yeah.
government was sensitive about whatever.
Yes.
Yes.
And I had commented on the interview, like when I get back to the stage, I said, I remember the energy there. I was by the square, Independence Square.
Yes.
And I remember you could feel the dilemma with people it was not technically council. They were no one said it was technically council. That was a big dilemma. People that was open was going on. And I also recall the type of qualitative conversation that was happening outside. It was one of the most inspiring council events I've ever been to. Excuse me, quote unquote.
Sure.
And people were engaging. She's from the UK. Aren't you Chairman Fred? And what's going on here about political prism when we got Bujumal? This is outside. And these were conversations, and people with political maturity was up there. Some individuals, he was past suspect. He was like, he asking a question. And it was like, people picked up on it. Who is this guy? But this was happening in like real time, right there. And I was so inspired. It was the type of conversation that was exchanging information that was going on. It was like, what's going on here? What's going on there? It was something that that you could not get on the CNN or nothing. It was just right outside. It was in many cases. those periods of time, you to have information exchange, leaps about, I think it was Lyndon that said that, said or something like that, when you paraphrasing that. It takes people 20 years to learn in ordinary times. They learn in 2 years in revolutionary times. And so I tell you, so that time period, certain things that have to happen. You know, in fact, the sister, she always comments, she said, what if this? I said, it has to happen. Certain contradictions have to happen. I think, Kwame Nkrumah said, neo-colonialism, the last days of capitalism. So, you know, so I tell you, want to surpass, so let's go back. Just imagine the political immaturity that people even have now, had not been Barack Obama's. That, you know, that period, that stage, not been exhausted. You know, so people, just in type of, they couldn't. In fact, they encouraged some of these contradictions with this last election or selection. They said, you know, they said people want to go on. You just can't come and throw a face up to them. You know, so they said, wait a minute, we went for this before. You know, good, bad, or indifferent. To be able to up the end with some stats and facts, as opposed to it's a period of time when you go, it's insulting. You can look back at certain. How did this commercial came on? It was no discussion about, you know, concrete, tangible concessions. With, you know, just even to mention, I see not even a mention in our community about political prisoners. That you know, something that doesn't even exist. You know. And so you go back and look at some of the things they were coming up, like the entertainers, you know, that they would bring up and parade around the free concert, you know, and it's insulting now to look at, you know what I'm saying, but at the time, those were necessary stages you had to go through.
Right. So coming back to my issue, so, I mean, during the period of your dad,
Yes.
the conspiration was what was going on in the United States, trying to achieve some freedom for the black man, the black woman. Now, in this era that we find ourselves, again, around that same period in Africa, we were fighting the colonial power.
Yes.
Now we're not fighting the colonial power. We are basically fighting ourselves. Journalists are imprisoned in other countries, even in Ghana. I mean, you mentioned an event that was cancelled for a very funny reason. You still get people go on demonstration and they are arrested, and the process of granting them bail is funny. Now, when you see that, what comes to your mind?
I think that even how we view colonialism, it's not something we just can take a shower, shake it off. Field Marshal George Jackson, the Black Panther Party, he said that capitalism not only affects the economy, but it affects the psyche of the people. And this imperialism is phenomenal. You know, psychological profiles. When, you know, so when it gets to the DNA, who it elevates, whether it be electoral politics, whether it be the entertainment industry. You know, I was just seeing a piece recently where they was talking about how Louis Armstrong, prior to Patrice Lumumba being assassinated, they had brought Louis Armstrong over for this big entertainment thing a few months prior. Then he went back as a child and showed when he was a child who he was raised by. You know, so the seed was planted, you know what I'm saying? And so we have, again, a deeper analysis, like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's idealistic to say, okay, we give us some black face in certain positions. But this system is so Machiavellian, it knows, again, the psychological profile and trigger words, like, so it's a different baby gorilla that has had the milk from the breastplate of that gorilla, as opposed to another gorilla that the poacher has killed and raised. In fact, there's a term they have called culling. It's international policy. And Brookfield Zoo in Chicago is a major place. And culling is where they have animals. Everything from the Mexican wolf to the silverback gorilla. They have listed by different numbers. And physically, they all look the same. But they make sure they don't breed what they call an aggressive one with another aggressive. They make sure or a palatable gorilla. and they make the physical features, but it's a more desired. Then they even go to the wolves. They call them Mexican wolves. They would get the pups, and they would take ones and switch the babies, the aggressive wolves. And so, you know, since you raise, you know, it has certain physical features. And so now even the animals they have tweaked their skills to say, wait a minute, that's not one of mine. So as a people, we have to tweak. I need to say, wait a minute, no, this does not represent me. You know what I'm saying? It may look like me, you know what I'm saying? This not even, and it's not looking at it subjectively, like a lot of times say, well, does this person mean well, or do they intentionally have nefarious intent, as opposed to be more scientific about this. Chairman Fair will say, revolution is a scientific art. It must be perfected. I know we are passionate people, you know. We don't want to lose that. But to have an analysis, to be able to say, wait a minute, to be able to pick up on this person cannot connect to me. I was just talking about Brother Daniel Kaluuya, who portrayed Chairman Fred in Judas and Black Messiah. And I was commenting that, oh, look at the other movie also. He did a good job. Get Out. Movie Get Out. And I said, they talk about that sunken place. Some people who are so detached. And I was, you know, talking about Kanye West actually said that movie was about him. He, like, genius. However, you could actually look at the pictures of him as a child in China, and you can see that. You can see it. You can see it. In fact, years back, in New Orleans, a lot of people refer to as Hurricane Katrina. We refer to it as Hurricane America. And when I approached him, hours before he said what he said about George Bush, when I mentioned to him, I said, are you entertainers in a position? I said, I gave him an analogy. I said, burn that devil. I said, why they from the Irish Republican Army? When the mayor of New York gave her the keys to the city, she turned over to the Black Panther Party. I seen that. The trigger, you know, when I see the white woman. And I said, whoa, we good. This time to go. Hours later, he said about George Bush. Now, like, you know what I'm saying? Certain trigger, you know what I'm saying? They studied that. You know what I'm saying? And you go look at the picture, you can Google, you can see, you know what I'm saying? And it's not no slight against him. We have to be analytical. So, I mean, this goes like entertainment industry. This guy Drake, who they created. You know what I'm saying? People, they go with livestock. They breed a certain chicken, you know what I'm saying? You know what it's gonna do. So we, you know what I'm saying? And those chickens just come around and say, oh, we all chickens. And this is not, we can do it in a way of not engaging in dogma or elitism, but acknowledging that.
Right. So if you realize that the people that look like you but do not connect and are not creating the conditions that will make you thrive or know yourself, looking at the modern era, how then do we address that? Will it be by going onto the street? Will it be by trying to influence the electoral politics and hope that whoever gets elected will connect to you? How do you suggest that this is addressed?
Well, let me say this. I'm a servant. I don't come with arrogance. I study the people. I different okay. I take into account. I was say, okay, what's phenomenal? What you know? So I study the people. I'm a servant. You know, so how can I assist? But again, that analogy is something I cannot let. The power is the ability to define a phenomenon and make acting desire matter. A lot of times we right on we study people. Like in New Orleans, for example, they had a term, the second line. The second line was a phenomenon. That's like the hood version of Mardi Gras. You know, we distinguished the second line from Mardi Gras. So we took it. I studied that. So okay, now how can we utilize this? So we put the free there and go to 3 in front of the ballot. So I was in Baltimore. I studied the people. And I see it was a phenomenon of the young brothers that have on the black t-shirts in nighttime and the white t-shirts in the daytime. So okay, how can we take this and tweak it? How can we put free Marshall Elliott Conway, free political prisoners? You know what I'm saying? We gonna so you study the people. What's phenomenal? I think your school, we got They're not like us. That's a phenomenon. That is redefining the lines even with street organizations in Los Angeles. That's phenomenal. It's causing there's an artist this was on scene yesterday, and this is one of the defining contrasts. Talib Kweli, who's the most definitely black star. Talib Kweli, I watched the interview yesterday. He said he didn't even know that Kendrick Lamar went into his brain. And he said he didn't know that he didn't feel comfortable. He said it never did hit him that he should feel uncomfortable with Drake saying nigger. How it was done. And that's something that, see, you gotta be careful how you do it, because a lot of times people can become defensive. Oh, so phenomenon. Reverend Nat Turner, he utilized the church. You know what I'm saying? So there's a phenomenon. We have to study the people. See, how can I get this conversation going? And win the people, heighten the contradictions without being antagonistic. You know, so heighten it, because, a characteristic or attractive to be colonized, I think you can tell me, I think you were saying, situation involved. I make a joke about it, so sometimes you got to heighten it when the white man tells them, or they tell themselves. You know what I'm saying? So you heighten those contradictions, you study the people, what's phenomenal, what do you use in this community? How do you relate and communicate with each other? This area may be, it may not be popular in Chicago, street organization. A lot of people in the past have problems with touch. I don't talk to them. He was a realist. He said, how people define the question of organization? One, certain points of political unity. So you have to always have our ears in the ground, studying what you're saying, what's going to be phenomenal in this day and age and this location. Tomorrow, it may be outdated. So this day not like that. It's a discussion that's in every arena, electoral politics. People are even, like the Alcoholics Anonymous, when they matches, the first step to address the problem, is recognizing they have a problem. They are even going back to redefining and looking at, who are they? Who are us? And it's stuff that they have to do all the time, right in their noses. But now this is cause for a different analysis of it.
Do you get to influence what happens in other countries in terms of activism? So, for instance, you advise some of the activists that which they should use particular.
On the whole survey, I study the people. I look at.
So have you studied Ghanaians and probably give some suggestions as to what you should do?
I'm still studying. We need a background or background. I recall it was in Brazil, and we was talking about the devices in the different areas, and we went to favelas, and I recall the Black Consciousness Day, November. It was Zumbi dos Osmolas that Portuguese that was at I studied what points of unity can we find, and then I was hearing the differences, religious differences also, and that the Black Consciousness Day, over 18, it was a phenomenon. We still about to this day, and that not to engage more Madison, like everything is good now. Something that's to get people say we have a discussion. Like I said, we deprive the opportunity to have a discussion in our community. Like there's an acknowledgement towards. Okay, this is trauma. This is what you're going through. This is how we deal with it. With us, to just deal with it. Don't speak about it. You go to the liquor store, drug house. We deal with it. So you need that frame of reference. So again, put you into the ground. I'm here now. We're studying the dynamics about water issues. So we real careful with it. Stephen Biko has said, black people in particular must grasp the ability to distinguish intelligence from the ability to articulate. So a lot of times, they get us caught up with, you said this wrong, word wrong. But the people are very intelligent. So we put our ear to the ground. We gonna I think tonight we might let this cookout over in the area. Tell the white ones it's not just a cookout. We gonna study the people. I went to some artists the other night. Nautica. I sat there, I'm listening. I'm watching the crowd. I'm grasping it, taking it in. They're not saying how people relate to this whole stuff. They're not like us. So I'm trying to find those points of unity.
Right. So you've not been involved or influence activism in Ghana in any way?
I don't know.
So we've had Fix the Country, I don't know if you had about that.
Yes.
We've had Democracy Hub.
I was trying to fix the country talking about that. One thing about us is a lot of times I don't it doesn't get documented. And you go back, like I said, some youth us when I came back, the terms are greeting with each other, and I don't know to say it's I can't it's not on a record. People say, why did this this relationship and how we engage, the type of discussion we engage on social media that work on something now, the code and culture with the artists, you know what I'm saying? Some artists they come over there to tie in this consistent messaging in. So yeah, so I can't give you a complete tab right now. But I know we not just on vacation like you know.
So they might have benefited from your knowledge, I guess.
And it's reciprocal. I benefit also from people. I understand. I like to with your praise of people knowledge as I go, I study the people I learn from the good, the bad, and different. I study the people. Yeah.
Interesting. How many countries probably in Africa have some connection with you?
I had credit to Ambassador of International Friend with Franco. He's touched down some forces in Senegal, some other places, and it was this is one of the only places I've touched down. But I know our influences in our places. We've been influenced some places. We do radio show called Freedom on Radio. It's called Every Wednesday. And we just had a brother on that just now. Last week, JT Big, there's a JT Big, he's real big in the Bay Area. They know that the independent, they sell their own music, so on and so forth. And we had a phenomenal interview with him back 2 weeks ago. Musical Colonel Foster. It was a real, and it was real good because it really broke down on the latest terms and got the conversation going about Instagram. You know what I'm saying? They existed when we were living these over there, and it's just at a warp speed. How everything from the images, how they intentionally treat Europe big and Africa small. Everything the different TV shows we subject to. It's a different world. So to see certain forces that certain people you relate to, I know him, but he's over there. So that discussion, people say, who I know was maybe coming. You know what I'm saying? Or you have a discussion about this is happening.
Very well. Now, so we've had times where the concerns were about human rights. We've had times where the concerns were about the ability to choose who you really want to be. I think increasingly now the concerns are economic freedom, the freedom to earn an income, decent income, the freedom to ply and trade. So we have instances in Ghana where somebody probably squatting because they don't have the resources to set up a shop. So they find a small space with something there. The next moment they're chased out. what kind of activism would be needed to address something like that? Because I think increasingly that is what it is. And so now people are concerned about getting something to eat.
Yes.
If I'm hungry, it makes no sense going onto the street.
Yes.
So there's that concern or that the drive is towards economic freedom.
Yeah.
Now, we need a different food to address that, or your same style to get people to face that challenge and fight it. Because I think that is the present need.
Yes, that's a real issue. I mean, what Marcus Garvey said. A lot of times when poverty comes to the front door, morality is at the back window. That impacts you. Hunger is real. It's a real profane word, bad word. It impacts your thoughts and everything. And so, we have to be innovative too with China. And the struggle is a struggle to invent and recognize that economics is even political. How we see how we deal with it. What I'm saying. Even if like I know when our survival programs we have we have free breakfast program back in Party Cubs. And I recall some struggles with novice and new forces coming in. And we told how you make sure you serve the people. We eat later, what I'm saying? And so the people will come, and some people will come, and we gotta distinguish them. And some forces will just give them food. So, no, we gotta tie it in politics, our conversation, our greetings with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's imperative. Like it's not just food. Just that alone, it cannot stand. Because the system, they can come out and resource us. You want food. People talk the Black Panther Party, talk about the eggs and stuff that tastes differently. It impacting us. I can get legal counsel for one of my kids. I got a lawyer one time. I said, why are you going to represent me? He said, I get the food breakfast program. He recalls that. Asada Shakur talks about how these young brothers was putting pancakes in their pocket. He said, hey, you can never steal from this because this is your program. So different ways of tying this in is the people's thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you get back when the uprisings happen in the States. Oh, you shouldn't tear up your own community. The people don't see that as their community. They live there. You know what I'm saying? So even our terms, language, all this political, I tell you, I failed my last year of English in high school. I refused to say me and I kept saying us and we. So we have to determine how we relate yourself. So even when you're saying the feeling, I know I think it's called the absolute. And you feel they want to get that stuff out. The term we use, like even people who on drugs, real bad. We have a term we say demoralized. We don't say that they, dope things. I just spoke at a rehab center down the street from my mother's house. The brother told me, you changed the whole place. You changed the whole environment. So what happened? He said, them people are in there now telling the people, excuse me, we're not dope fiends. We're not junkies. We're demoralized. You know what I'm saying? There's a different dynamic. It's even language. Like, that's what he goes with. Like, there's an interview. A minister being interviewed. And the reporter comes with referencing the Vietnamese VCs, Vietcong. He never responded. And he said, you told the Vietnamese people, they don't reference themselves as that. In Somalia, their whole campaign, they skinnies. They say they're skinny, not human beings. That impacted, so even our terms, the terms we have to use in Catholic, we really struggle. With the terms, let's say, we have a greeting, free them all. That's a greeting, some political significance to that, you know what I'm saying? And even those who are not cognizant of it, they can engage in long walk to freedom. What's that? It's a documentary. Dr. John Henry Clark. he commented how the hell-bent on getting accountable others. They will greet each other every morning. Greetings, Roman citizen. Carthage must be destroyed. Not talking about the sentries, the soldiers, the common people. You know, so it became a common term, a common sentiment. And see, that have been shown to distinguish revolution from war. War, you have your respective armies. You suit them with the revolution, the mass and participation.
But how it work now? So again, taking Ghana for example, as I said, the low income people are concerned about what they're going to eat.
Yeah.
The middle class, they found a way of, if there's a problem, I find a personal solution to it.
Yes.
If the road to my area is bad,
Yes.
I get an SUV.
Yes.
If there's no water flowing, I build a borehole.
Yes.
Okay, and that phenomenon is building on. To the extent that people sometimes see some of the activists as nuisance and think, they've done that. So with this phenomenon, do you really think language, the style, or anything can really make a change in a place like Ghana? It's
Be oppressed.
something that activists is
Yeah, I don't speak as humbly. I don't want to come back and come with any political panacea. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't cure all. Being oppressed is embarrassing, wherever you're at. It hurts. It's humbling. You know what I'm saying? It's and I think we try to jive ourselves about it. You know, we keep it secret to like, you know, like a abuse victim. You know what I'm saying? And it's more common than not have, you know, even those who have economic, you know, first I tell you, it was, I think it was some biography about Clarence Thomas, the judge, the Supreme Court judge. They talk about even the racism that he was spitting to people. Like, what? They were surprised. This, you know, they said he thought the white, he just was a big success story. In fact, in the States, we have a term, there are something like we call slave success stories. You go back, like, right now, there's lots of contradictions that is supposed in the music industry. People are seeing who's really pulling the strings, man. All these people, all this money in the music industry. And in certain times, even when they get through with them, you know what I'm saying? And I think you can mask it. You can mask the pain. There's certain time periods when it's like they say, like people this. I know I keep referencing this young phenomenon. Kendrick Lamar. They say they talk about all the different artists who Drake had like literally bought and made, and but there's so much that the timing that this young brother with all the different people, the street organizations, it's a phenomenon they didn't see coming. You know what I'm saying? It's continuously heightening contradictions, where people are saying, you know, even all the economics they have, when you start finding out who's really in debt, what they have to do to make it, and just that cleansing process. Like I said, just acknowledge it alone. It's a different feeling. And certain things that the plantation is being questioned. It's a because sometimes even the master will go tell certain people, go keep that calm. And they say we can't come. We didn't start it. So these are time periods when that shuffle that was happening. People you start asking questions. Like, wait a minute, you know, you've been making it, you know what I'm saying, at the expense of keeping us quiet. So just even like it's clear, it's even this term is heightening the contradictions. But I know we're gonna get back to some good feeling that you just tell me what people get the information, they're gonna do the right thing. People have to be prepared. There are some people that say, well, no, I know this, and I still will be on the different side of the street. And that's something that sometimes that gets so intense that people get involved in struggle, become conscious one of three ways: inspiration, aspiration, or desperation. You know what I'm saying? We've seen certain periods of time when certain dynamics throughout the world, you know what I'm saying, was heightened. And I'm gonna tell you something. Let me say this. I'm here for a number of reasons. I'm going to, another reason being here is to recharge. I'm going to some battle fatigue. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to some battle fatigue. So
Recharge yourself or
Recharge.
charge the atmosphere.
recharge, you know what I'm saying? It can be reciprocal. Like, you know what I'm saying? I need it too. I need it too. You know what I'm saying? Battle fatigue is for real. You know, sometimes you need to see like stories, like circumstances. We're going through this too. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain forces that you're fortunate to meet. You get recharge. You know, yeah. The battle fatigue is real. Yeah.
Right.
And I tell you, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times I wonder, am I more determined to change the system or make sure it doesn't change me? I don't, you know what I'm saying? I see the ugliness what it can produce. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I seen with those who've been put in position, when they get through with them, I see what they do to them, you know what I'm saying? Malcolm X, like, he had another knowledge. He said, you can lay down and walk all over you. They say, master, am I good? They say, no, turn over. It's still cut, you know. But so, I want us to make sure I don't become that. I don't become that.
So specifically, what are you here in Ghana for that is helping you recharge?
All right, you can't tap at one thing. This conversation, sky's the limit. This conversation here, we look forward to some more conversations. Touching down with the people. I say, we don't take an organized. We don't come in with this business that okay, this 9 to 5. In fact, one of the things I always say is we work for the people. Streets are our office. Our work hours are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our secretaries, those brothers and sisters you see us on street corners. I'm continuously learning, taking it in, finding commonality, points of unity. Yeah, get it together.
You see some energy in the Ghanaian youth.
Sometimes you say it's idealistic. I say no, I say no, I can see the political eye is, you know, to see the potential. The people, you know, I mean, pray with potential. And you can see certain dynamics here. This means this, and it's things that you put in context, historical context, it just to maintain I see something like a social media memes that say, if we looked at what we've been through, we'd be ugly. I see the fact that, you know what I'm saying, the market, this is the market yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I said, oh, that's our people, you know what I'm saying? The exchange, stuff that you traffic. How you know what I'm saying, we move. I say, you know, I guess it's a pro and a con how we can adapt and survive with so much stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's energize you to see man, I was just being coming like was so scared on their heads. I said, I was just coming earlier. I said, notice the other sister. I said, she doesn't have nothing, but you can see her walk. You know what I'm saying? I study out people in this dynamics that we'll take for granted. You know what I'm saying? But the street organization, Chairman Craig, he studied the potential. He knew, you know, he seen the structure, you know, and I give that official term, and we say, oh, that's it. Oh, they just, no, they had significance on my social media. So, brother, I'm talking, he telling me about gluten and different dynamics, you know, because we have a conversation, you know, and other counterparts his age, in the state, you know, they had to type this, man, you know, man, how does he get, you know, and it inspired them, you know what I'm saying? So just even that connection, you know, in the ruling class, they use it for a detrimental way, you know what I'm saying? These different video games, you killing them, you know what I'm saying? They have competing with that. We flip the script. You know, flip the script, you know what I'm saying? Just even to take different dynamics, you know, so the technology and social media to connect and to put in the correct context. Well, I mean, the fact that we still here.
Right. So, when as we bring this conversation to a close,
This is the good and the great also.
should I anticipate that maybe in another 3 to 4 years, what we see as inertia on the side of the Ghanaian, not too willing to go out and engage, could change through what you do here and what you do with the people that you touch?
I would let you ladies die and let you go materialism. Let me see. Oh, we are impacted by each other. Yeah. And if things are constantly born and growing and dying and disintegrating, 2 minutes ago was history. So I know that, again, it's reciprocal. From the people, it's reciprocal. And I know there will be contradictions. We don't romanticize it. We'll get like business the political panacea. But man, I benefit also. I'm humbly saying that. I'm humbly saying that. Like I said, it was a battlefield I went through, and I've seen some of the conversations that we talk about. That's imperative that we communicate. I remember our first name in Brazil, and I remember the conversations at first. It was like, oh yeah, everybody we got puffy combs up. I made it clear. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I said, they don't represent us. There's a different dynamic. And you just like, whoa. It was like, and it was a logical, we kind of felt that, you know what I'm saying? And what this to shape those images, you know what I'm saying? And you know, communicate our people here, you know, not come with a dogma, like a tourist, you know what I'm saying? And I know people may say it for catchy sound phrase. Oh yeah, you know, when we come in, we recognize there are contradictions and differences. Black Panther Party is the differences between the people are reconcilable. Between the people in the system are irreconcilable. I was proud of it. You know what I'm saying? You know, and this is in contention with the Tarzan movies that many people been impacted by, and as well as I don't want to constantly beat up on him, but the puffy combs and images that have been given here. The natives in the U.S., the John Wayne, China pipelines in North Dakota, the indigenous community. There was certain forces from the natives, quote unquote, people of India who had never seen the black people directly and vice versa my community. So when we got there, there was certain forces. When we got there, it wasn't just always come together. We had a relationship. Tiny House War. We knew Carlos Manuel. We knew which forces to touch down with. You know what I'm saying? And that relationship to this day, we were able to connect to the campaigns from political prisoners. Dylan Perry just released recently. Connect to Mumia Butuan. We're still respecting each other's respective self-determination. They're still buzzing right now. In Chicago, Maywood, the natives, they came through a Trail of Tears, a ride to Washington D.C. on horses. And so many people said, Jerry, we never seen no real, you don't want to say the word wrong, you're not Indians. I said, I never seen no real black people, you know what I'm saying? So it upped the ante for a different dynamic. But see, certain period, you have a different sort of athlete, you know what I'm saying? A different sort of entertainer, a different sort of, you know what I'm saying, street organization. See, I'm coming from the cloth. When I met Nipsey Hussle, I first met him backstage, Sacramento, 2010. I'm a distance away. I seen this Jewish, at the time the artist was wearing this white Jesus. I said, here we go. I said, what is this? Wait a minute, this is Malcolm X. I said, brother, you familiar with Chairman Fred Hampton? He said, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. What sort of man would I be if I knew who Chairman Fred was? Whoa. Now, I told also Nipsey Russell, the comedian, Nipsey Russell. My mother was on the finance committee when she approached him for the donation of the Black Panther Party. He made a joke about her. Nipsey Russell said, here comes this lady, she's pregnant, got bullets across her chest. He kind of made that up. He said, I told him I'm not giving nobody no money for no guns. I put an envelope under the door for the free breakfast program. This is a different sort of support of comedian as opposed to the arrogant. This system, the present day, they got it where they put the entertainers up as our leadership. And now you have a time period where conscience is being heightened. Just watched the interview with the individual, Nelly. There's not an uproar about Nelly before U.S. President, then incoming President Trump. Nelly just said in his mouth, interview yesterday. He said, you look to us, to the entertainers, to give you any political. He said, all he thinks about is his own individual family. That's it. Out his own mouth, he's saying this. So we have to hide those contradictions. Because we said, why is it they always give us these people as our spokesperson? That was a climate. The reporter asked Malcolm X, with Jackie Robinson, the famed athlete, he disagrees with your position about violence. Malcolm X said, wait a minute. We don't quote Bob Hope for you. We don't quote Marilyn Monroe for your spokespersons. You know what I'm saying? So they have to, and they have to be, wait a minute, who are you? We're not having nothing against these people. How are you giving this as our spokespersons? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this whole discussion right now, people are asking questions. Who is Dre? It was like Kanye threw out in the joke. You said before, he said, who is Solution? People are now talking about solution. That this is who created these sexy radios, the Nas, who's these propaganda bombs? So Annie's being up.
That's it. Do you feel like you had an influence in the Black Panther movement? Is there any connection? The movie.
The one that the Black Panther. You talking about Judas and Black Messiah? Okay.
No, I'm asking whether you had any influence on the not reproduction, but whether you know what the Black Panther movie.
You talking about Marvel? Chadwick Boseman. No. Okay. That was no. Oh, I think definitely the Black Panther part of the organization itself is. I mean, I may sound subjective saying it, but in fact, every discussion, you can work, what I'm saying, even if it's coded, I think it impacts everything from every discussion. I'm talking Black Panther Party itself, and I just want to say that genius, Ryan Coogler, who him, Shaka King, Charles King, the Dream Team, the Judas Black Messiah. I was critical on some things Black Panther, the movement. In retrospect, I think it was necessary for they own this piece of Judas Black Messiah to come out.
Right. Now, so you're doing a documentary whilst you're in Ghana.
Yeah, we're gonna be while I'm here, we're gonna be showing the movie Judas Black Messiah. There's some footage, documentary while I'm there.
You want to talk briefly about that?
Yes, we're gonna make sure we go to the slave dungeons. We're gonna show the museum, the Kwame Crew Museum, and just over there in Timber, where we're going to touch down with the people, get that footage, and again, it's another piece. There's draw that connection from our own, the people themselves speaking. There's a draw correlation and saying what's happening, similarities, contradictions, open door for some discussions. Yeah.
Right. And what's been feeling like looking to achieve with this?
Amongst other things, that connection, our brother told me one time, he said, he never forget, he was about 12 years old. He was walking down the street and some guy got murdered. He was in Chicago, in the newspaper. And they were like, oh, he's famous. He said, you told me he was 12 years old. I don't want to be no one line in Chicago in the newspaper. The more you learn about the whole, the world connection, and the more you know, the more you find out that you don't know. To make those principles and that connection oppress people throughout the world. And if nothing else, the politics and nothing else gives your sanity. You know what I'm saying? Because there's one thing that, why has this happened to me? And so only one, this nothing like a worldview. So it'll give people a worldview. That's the world. Yeah.
Thank you, Fred.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best in your endeavors, and hope that the whole project of people to know themselves and achieve such ambition. would happen. As far as
Yeah.
influence to make the world a better place.
I thank you, I thank Attorney Arnold, I thank everyone here. I look forward to following up with you. Let's stay in contact with much respect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Madasi.
Woo! You just stop me again.
I was trying to stop you, but it was like you're caught up in the moment. So
Yes.
You get it? You get
the
it?
conversation
1 hour
was
36
seamless.
minutes.
How long?
1 hour 36 minutes.
Yes.
Do we break any records?
I mean, my record was 15 minutes, so
Huh?
the initial was supposed to be 15 minutes.
Oh!
Yeah.
What?
You know, the conversation was, as I was saying, the conversation was seamless. So to stop and come back might be, that was like, okay. We'll just look for the breaking points and just, work with it. So.
Yeah, well, I enjoy it. Yeah, great questions. Yes, great questions. Yeah.
To help the session with Tatiana, she will focus just on the young people. So, the young people on social media.